Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. I am with Beatley Tone from Beatley Tone's Beatles channel. That just rolls off the tongue.
Hi, Larry.
And
Hi, Joe.
Joe from Mean Mr. Mayo's channel. And
Yeah.
we are going to rank Paul McCartney's solo songs plus Wings, not including any live albums or anything, but including uh, the Russian album and a couple others there.
Kisses
Run
on the
Devil Run.
bottom.
Yeah. So what I thought we would do is, because there's 26 songs, maybe we'll do 3 at a time to start with. And then when we get into the top 10, we'll go around one at a time. So Joe, you go first with your bottom 3 songs.
Lucky me. I would say that every song on here, without being too long-winded, I at least like every song on here. It's hard to rank, except for maybe this last one. And I don't think a lot of people are going to have this at number 26, bringing up the rear. But my number 26 is Stranglehold from Press to Play. It may shock a lot of people only because it's like, well, there's so many cover songs here. Why would you pick a McCartney song? Think I like the cover songs better, but I don't know. It's to me, Stranglehold is from the album Press to Play is not one of my very favorite albums. It's near the bottom, and it's just clunky and awkward, and there's not a real clear to my ears melody to it. It's just all over the place. It's kind of clunky. Number 25, I put The Lovely Linda, which was going to be the first choice, 26, because I thought it was because it's short. It's like just so short. And I thought, well, actually, no, I like the sound of the Lovely Linda better than I do Stranglehold. So I might as well. It's a nice little tune, but it's short. That's all. It's cute. Number 24, I went with the first track from Kisses on the Bottom. I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter. Which again, I enjoy that record for what it is. It's a little bit late in Paul's career. Kisses on the Bottom might have been better when he was a little younger. But yeah, a lot of these are just because I like other ones better. There you go.
Okay. And Tony?
Okay, so my bottom 3 sort of follow a bit of a theme because they're all covers. And I'll always pick a McCartney written song over a cover version. So my number 26 is I'm gonna sit right down and write a letter. Kisses on the Bottom is not an album that I particularly enjoy. I don't really like that sort of American songbook type songs. Although I do think that all the songs on that album kind of suit Paul's old man voice, and the songs are beautifully played, but that's my least favorite. The second number 25, I've gone for Blue Jean Bop from Run Devil Run. Pretty much for the same reason. I'm not a huge fan of rock and roll, and it's a cover. And my number 24 is Kansas City from the Russian album. So kind of following a theme there with my bottom 3.
Okay. Well, my number 26 is the same as Joe's, Stranglehold.
Whoa.
It's actually, it's a good song, but I don't think it's a great opener for an album to begin with, even that album. Number 25 is Pipes of Peace. And I don't know, just some of the lines kind of have always bothered me, like the burn baby burn. I've never liked that. And then the children's chorus, it was just a bit too, that's when I started to lose interest in McCartney. It was getting a bit too corny. Nice message, of course, but still not one of my favorites. And number 24, The Lovely Linda, which is, like Joe says, it's mainly because it's so short. But it's a great, very great melody and everything, and great start to McCartney. So I do like the song a lot. So that's my number 24. Okay. Joe, you do 22, 21, and 20.
I think you mean 23, 22, 21.
Yeah, sorry, 20.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's getting confusing already.
Not that I want to confuse the host, whatever,
No.
but okay, it happens. All right. Here's where I put in or threw threw in the three cover songs. No, they're not cover songs. I take that back. Two of them are cover songs, and one of them not. I just realized. Number 23, Blue Jean Bop from Run Devil Run. I mean, I like Run Devil Run better than I do the Russian album, Paul's Oldies. But then number 22 is Kansas City from the Russian album. Sometimes I think the Russian album may be my choice for my least favorite Paul album of all, possibly. I like Run Devil Run better. Um, 21 is an original. It's Lonely Road from Driving Rain. Okay, which I almost said. I
I thought
almost
you were going to say something
no,
else.
no. That, as I say, I just want to say a little bit about that. I'm sorry that I had to miss your show on Driving Rain. I was invited, but I couldn't make
Mm.
it at the end.
Yeah, no problem.
And I really enjoyed watching that. There's so many things I probably could have said, pro and con.
Yeah,
But yeah, these days I like. I keep saying this wrong. I dislike Driving Rain less than I
yeah,
used to. Um, I still might personally might put it as for me his least of his original albums of his original material, but I don't despise it like I used to. That's
yeah,
good. Just that it's too long. So
yeah.
so anyway, Lonely Road. It's not bad. Just that
Hmm.
of these songs that's where I'd put it.
Yep. Okay, Tony, 23, 22, and 21.
Okay, so 23, I've gone for the lovely Linda. I'd love to have heard that song completed.
Yeah.
I think it had potential, but
Hmm.
because it is so short, it's got to come fairly near the bottom. At 22, I've gone for Dance Tonight from Memory Almost Full, which might be a surprising choice. I just think it's just a little bit too twee. It's very Paul, and he obviously loves it because he keeps it in his live set still, and he doesn't very often keep songs that are quite that are from newish albums in his set for too long. But yeah, it doesn't excite me that much. At 21, I've gone for Long-Tailed Winter Bird from McCartney 3. I just think it's a little bit too long. I think the song to me sounds like he's playing the whole song twice in those sort of it's about 5.5 minutes long or something like that. It's not a song that I dislike. I do like it, and I like how it kind of progresses. From the acoustic guitar to the sort of chuggy electric guitar and the sort of the vocal as well. But there's just other songs in this list that I like better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of the lovely Linda, that shows you right there. Like, Paul's just messing around, right? Like, and it just shows how easy it is for him to get a catchy melody, right? And,
Yeah, sure.
like a throwaway song.
Yeah.
All right. 23 is I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter. I really like it. Really nice vocals by Paul. And I love the piano by Diane Crowell. Yeah, very nice. 22 is Blue Jean Bop. He's kind of doing his Elvis there, and I enjoy it. These are all good songs. And number 21, I think it's going to be higher for both of you probably, from Red Rose Speedway, Big Barn Bed. I like it, but I just like other songs much more.
Okay, got it.
So 20, 19, and 18.
All right, let's do that. Okay, I'm just writing a line so I can make sure I don't mess up. See, speaking of writing a line, 20 for me is Fine Line from Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. I really have come to like and appreciate the album Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. I always call it the closest thing Paul did to his Plastic Ono band. A lot of personal feelings, vulnerable, pained, but for some reason, Fine Line, to me, it doesn't fit the rest of the album. It's the only song to me that doesn't really fit the album, and I think it's a weaker by the numbers kind of thing for Paul. So that's Fine Line. Number 20. Number 19 is where I put Long-Tailed Winter Bird from McCartney 3. I do very much enjoy the whole album, McCartney 3, but yeah, and it's very interesting. Long Tail Winterbird, very interesting uh, guitar playing and things on there. But that's where it goes. And number 18, I went with Dance Tonight. I think Dance Tonight is a fun little ditty. It's a good time, but it's nothing remarkable. But there you are.
Tony?
Okay, so number 20, I've gone for Mumbo from Wildlife. Love the Wildlife album. I really like this song. I really like this song. I love that it's totally mad and off its head and
Yeah.
absolute nonsense. But again, there's others in this list that I like more. So that's where Mumbo is coming. Number 19, I've got Off the Ground, which again might be a little bit surprising, but yeah, it's just the la 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 la.
It's a little too twee.
Yeah, a little bit. But okay, I don't dislike the song.
Yeah.
But that's where I feel that it comes in this list. And number 18, people are going to hate me for this. Number 18, I've gone for Coming Up.
I hate you, Tony.
I really like the live version that was on the here. It was on the B side of the single, but basically any of the live versions that he's done, I prefer to the version on McCartney 2. I just don't like the sort of the speeding up of it and the high pitched vocal as much as when it's played straight live without all that. I think it's a great song. I think it's a really great song. But from McCartney 2, that would be my number 19.
Okay.
Do you have them all? You said 19. Did you do 18?
Yeah, that was Off the Ground. So Mumbo, Off the Ground, and Coming Up were my three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. My number 20, this is the song that when I was first doing, ranking them, I had it near the bottom, but I listened to it, more, and it's really grown on me, and I love it now. I did not like his vocals. Kansas City. I thought at first, I don't even really play that Russian album much, so maybe I should check it out more. But yeah, I just love his rough vocals on it, and it's just funny how I changed my opinion on it. So yeah, I love that now. Number 19 is the opening song from New, Save Us, a great rocker. I love it. And number 18 from Driving Rain, Lonely Road. I love, there's some points in the song where he's singing with himself, like it's double tracked and there's two different vocals. I love that. And I love the energy of the guitar in it. It sounds like angry or whatever. So that's my number 18, Lonely Road.
Okay. Now we got 17, 16, and 15. Okay. 17, I think a lot of people will throw tomatoes at me with this one, but I've never been a big fan of My Brave Face. But it still made it to 17. I don't really like much of what Elvis Costello and McCartney did together, with the exception of Back on My Feet is a song that I really love. But anyway, I just thought at the time, I'm glad that Paul was back. I feel like he was back with Flowers in the Dirt, but I don't know what it is about that song. I mean, it's still number 17, right? I didn't put it near the bottom, but it's just something about it. Maybe the way it changes pitch or different moods. I think this one might have been a better single to start off with, in my opinion. But anyway, all right, so that's 17. 16 is where I put Pipes of Peace. I agree with Larry and what he said. Some of the lyrics, I know they were singled out, I think, in some reviews at the time. Songs of joy instead of burn, baby, burn, cliches, And it is a little kiddie, but I know it was a hit in England. I think it was
Number one.
number
Number
one.
one was.
I just never loved it, but I gotta respect it. So 16's not bad. And then for 15, I put opening station. I don't know. From Egypt Station. I love that that album starts out different than a lot of albums that he
Yeah.
does. Like it just has the. It's almost. I always say I always feel like a curtains drawing, like the curtains opening, and there he is on the stage by himself, a very calm, quiet song instead of a rocker or a rousing number, and I
Mm,
really like it.
yeah.
So it's different for an opener. So I don't know number 15. Did I get it right? Yeah. Opening station. I don't know.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, 17 for me. I've gone for reception slash getting closer. Um, reception is a bit of a throwaway. He's just tuning the radio, and John Lennon had done that on was it Life with the Lions or one of those
Yeah.
track tuning the radio.
But it wasn't followed by getting closer though.
No,
It wasn't followed by any good music.
no, but it was, but I do really like that funky bass line in reception. I really, this is where it's already starting to get hard for me because I like all these tracks. Getting closer is a great rocker, a really good opener. I don't care about Salamander. It doesn't matter to me that the lyrics are nonsense. It's a good song. That's my 17. 16, I've gone for Fine Line from Chaos and Creation. The album is outstanding. But I agree with Joe. It doesn't really. It doesn't. It kind of sticks out a little bit like a sore thumb. But it's a song I like. I like the fact that it's got the words chaos and creation in the lyric.
Yeah.
It's got interesting guitar, and I really like that sort of abrupt ending that it's got. But that's my number 16. Number 15, I've gone for Let 'Em In from Speed of Sound. Again, really like the song. It's virtually a perfect pop song. But it's number 15 for me. I just think that there are other songs in this list that I enjoy more.
All right. So all of these songs are 10 out of 10 for me. Number 17, No More Lonely Nights. Great song. I love the guitar solo at the end by David Gilmour. Yeah. Number 16, Venus and Mars. Rock show. And number 15, Tug of War. I have nothing to say about them. They're all great songs.
Okay, listen, I was wondering when I'm looking at this, how did you want to do the next ones? Because you'd have 14, 13, and 12, and then 11 all by
Well,
themselves.
let's do 5. Let's do these 5. Then we can get into the top 10.
Do you mean 4, you mean, right? 14,
Four.
13, 12, 11.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do 4. 14. 14 is where I put Mumbo. And a lot of people may be surprised it made it so high. I just love that thing.
Yep.
I love the way the album's different. It starts out really raucous. Everybody has said that was like something done in one take or just made up on the spot or something. But then I think it was in the McCartney Legacy book. I think it was there. It was shown that there was maybe not one take. It was not. That's not necessarily true. But whatever it is, I just love that it's insane and he's screaming. And when you like something that's offbeat, you say, well, that's why I like it, because it's so offbeat. Then when you don't like something that's offbeat, you say, well, I can't stand this song. It's too weird, too offbeat. But I don't know, so I like it. Number 13, I went with the title track, London Town, from London Town. I like it. I just not much. Sometimes you can't find things to say about it. I just like it. A little on the twee side with the toot toot thing, but it doesn't matter. I think it's a cute little song. Number 12 is where I placed the single version, I guess, this freaky version, as Lennon called it, the freak version of Coming Up. it's a song that took me time in 1980 to like. Indeed, the whole album took me a few listens to like in 1980. I love the album now for being so
Mhm.
different and experimental, and I do like it, that version. So that's number 12. And finally, number 11 is where, for me, No More Lonely Nights fell. I think it was a really good song at the time for Paul, and Larry's already mentioned the great David Gilmour guitar playing. It's really a beautiful song. Number 11, No More Lonely Nights.
All right, oh, sorry, your turn,
Yeah,
Tony.
go ahead, Tony.
14. Yeah. Yeah. So 14. I've gone for. I love all these songs now. I've gone for the songs we were singing from Flaming Pie. Yeah, really like the song, like the sentiment. I don't know if it was aimed at John, maybe. But I really like that one. Number 13, I've gone for Stranglehold from Press to Play.
Wow.
I just really like the looseness of that song, and the looseness of the verse, and then it does kick in with the chorus, and yeah, so I really like that. I think that's a great opening track. Number 12, I've gone for Opening Station. I don't know. Obviously, Opening Station is nothing, but I don't know. I love that piano intro into it. It's so delicate. It's really beautiful, and it's a really interesting song to start an album off, because it's kind of a different type of Paul. The song is like, it's full of doubts and kind of regrets and all that sort of stuff. I just really like that, and it's a really unusual opener. So that's probably why it's as high as it is. Number 11 for me is Save Us from No. Fantastic riff. Really a real sort of bombastic song. I think perfect to start off an album. I think it sounds fresh, and it sounds new, no pun intended. But I really like that. So that is my number 11.
All right. My number 14 is the very simple but so catchy Let 'Em In. Like, I think the first time I heard that song, I was probably rolling my eyes and, oh, another one of these corny, but then it's so catchy. It's like, who cares about the lyrics? It's such a catchy song. Number 13 is My Brave Face. I think it's a very strong opening track. And I'm an Elvis Costello fan too, so that might have helped a bit. Number 12, Long-Tailed Winter Bird. I love, that's the thing with Paul McCartney and his whole career. He's been, John, of course, was experimental, but Paul was too, all through the years. And his guitar work, the acoustic, it could, maybe it is like a minute too long, kind of stretching out a bit, but I still love it. And number 11, this is just lately, Reception and Getting Closer. Yeah, the salamander used to kind of bug me too, like the lyrics. But his vocals near the end, the way he's, when he's really rocking near the end, I just love that so much. So that's my number 11. So before we get into the top 10, Joe, tell us about your channel.
Yeah, which I really should have on my name, but I have a channel on YouTube, in case you don't know, called Mean Mr. Mayo, is in mayonnaise. A lot of people say, "Oh, they don't like me." They say, "Let's call him mayonnaise." Hey, mayonnaise. That's exactly it. It's supposed to be Mean Mr. Mayo instead of mustard. So check out my channel.
And Tony.
Yeah, my channel is called Beatley Tones Beatles channel. Do all the stuff that us Beatles channels do. Talk about the albums, talk about the songs, rank them, do live streams, do breaking news, all that sort of stuff. All the stuff that you would expect.
Yep.
And drone on and on and on and on and on and on about the Beatles.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to start the top 10.
Oh,
so I
okay.
don't finish it. Uh,
Now,
number
Larry, tell us about your channel.
No, I
Yeah.
don't want to.
What's it called?
Uh, number 10 for me, this is the song that drew me back. Not that I didn't play any of his albums, but I never bought them for many years. But when I heard Dance Tonight, I saw the video on YouTube. Even though, it was still one of his lighthearted tunes, just something about it, I guess the melody, and it was so catchy. I loved the song. I ended up buying Memory Almost Full, and I was back into McCartney for good. So that's my number 10.
Very good. I like that. Okay. So now my number 10 is Save Us from New. An album which I love. It might be in my top five. I just like just almost everything. Maybe a song or two, not, but I do love the album overall, and I love the energy of Save Us. Where I
Mhm.
said before that Egypt Station opens slowly with I Don't Know. This is a good example of the opposite. How something just grabs you right away. Attack, you know,
Yeah.
and I just love the energy right from the beginning. So Save Us is a terrific opener, in my opinion. And a New is an album I wish more people would try out. I think that it got kind of lost when Egypt Station came out. Everybody started talking about Egypt Station. I much prefer New to Egypt
Mhm.
Station.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Tony, number 10.
Okay, number 10. I've really surprised myself by placing this one so high in my list, because the album it comes from is one of my least favorite. So number 10 for me is Pipes of Peace, the song Pipes of Peace.
Hmm.
Um, I just really like this. I've never really. It's one of these songs that I've never really got bored of. I really like the story behind it. Although even though I think that it's probably not true, the whole thing about the football match during the on Christmas Day during the war, but I do love that story. The video was
Mhm.
was fantastic. It
Yep.
was a number one in the UK. Paul's never played it live. I love the fact it's got tabla in it, and the children's choir and all that sort of thing kind of reminds me of Christmas. I've just got great memories of it. You know, when it came out. So yeah, Pipes of Peace, my number 10.
All right. My number 9, the song We Were Singing. I just love Paul's kind of delicate vocals on it at the start. And just this is when he really started to, I don't know, mature or whatever with his lyrics. They were more serious sometimes. And so I think it's a great opening track. Number 9, the song We Were Singing.
Okay, so number 9 for me. This is a lot higher than most people would have it, I
Band on
guess.
the Run.
No, it's Off the Ground title track, La La La's and all that silly stuff and all.
Yeah.
Uh, it starts out with that really I don't know. You're trying to find new adjectives. Intense, driven guitar. Um, I don't know. I love it. I just love the feel of the whole song. And it's one of my favorite underrated albums of Paul's. So Off the Ground, number 9.
So my number 9, Lonely Road from Driving Rain. I think again it's a really good opener. I think it's one, Driving Rain. We know it's kind of it's a difficult album. I do really like it, but it took me a long time to like it. But I think that Lonely Road is one of those instantly accessible songs. It's one that he played live when he was promoting Driving Rain, and that's the sort of song. I always thought he was kind of talking about losing Linda in that song. Although he said it's just generally about loneliness generally, but I think it must coming at that time.
Yeah.
It must have been influenced by Linda's passing and that sort of thing. But I think it is quite an up. If you take the from the musical point of view, it's quite an upbeat song and it is catchy. You say it instantly accessible. Great bass playing in it as well. Yeah, Lonely Road, good song.
I gotta say, Tone, it wasn't instantly accessible to me. It took me years.
Yeah.
Did it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For me,
It
I'm
took me
talking
a
for
long
me.
time to like it.
But even a song like From a Lover to a Friend, for many years, I kind of liked it and I kind of didn't. And now I think it's one of his greatest songs.
Mm.
You think? Yeah, I remember you saying that. One thing I did want to make clear. Oh, I'm glad I thought of this. This is late, but talking about the Driving Rain show, something I would have said was I think Larry had said, and I know this is common that a lot of people say this. I think because of Heather Mills is a lot of the reason maybe why it gets a bad rap and all this.
Yeah.
I always say I didn't like it from the start, and at that time they were really. It was just their relationship was really, I think, just starting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
there wasn't any bad blood yet or anything. Or
Yeah.
so
Mm.
I didn't have a problem with her at that time. I
Yeah.
still didn't
Yeah.
like the record at the time.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. My number 8. Take it, Tony. It's Mumbo. Yeah.
I'm
Just
glad
like
it's that. That's nice that it's that
yeah,
high.
just like Tony was saying, it's, I don't know. I can understand some people not liking it because Paul's just singing gibberish, not even making
Yeah.
any sense. But he's having fun, and the fun, I enjoy it, and the song rocks. So, yeah, that's my number 8,
And you
Mumbo.
are correct, everything you said in my book. All right. Number 8 is where I put Reception / Getting Closer. I love the album Back to the Egg,
Yeah.
kind of a good rocking album, and it's a great opener. I'm glad, I think it was Tone who mentioned the bass line in Reception, which is interesting. It's groovy. And I just love, you're changing the dials and boom, bam, you get into Getting Closer, and it rocks the house, and I love it. So number 8, Getting Closer.
My number 8, Big Barn Bed from Red Rose Speedway. What I like about this song is that I think it there's a whole big harmony thing going on with Linda and Paul and Denny, and I think that was the point where the Wing sound was established, because it didn't really happen in Wildlife. But as this is the first track on Red Rose Speedway, this is the first time you really hear that Wing sound. I just love those harmonies between the three of them. It's kind of funky and a little bit quirky as well, as an opener. Not a song that you would think as being an opener, really. And it's not an obvious opener anyway. But I really like the song. So yeah, that's my number 8.
Okay. All right. My number 7. Now the album it came from, I never heard it for many, many years. And I didn't think it was that great, just from reviews and whatnot. But when I finally heard it, I think it's very underrated. And so the song is from the album Off the Ground, and it's the title song. Yeah, I love the song.
Oh, glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right. Number 7 for me. Now I'm going to go with Big Barn Bed. And I could easily just say ditto to everything that Tone said. He explained it very well, the wing sound and everything. Quirky. I love the words you use. I'm going to steal them because sometimes it's hard
It's
to
all
explain.
yours. It's all yours, Joe.
It's it's just it's very very delightfully weird in a way, and I just love the way that they're singing and everything, and I don't know exactly everything they're saying. I have to maybe read lyrics, but I
Yeah.
don't care what they're saying. I just like the sound of it a lot.
Yeah, it sort of builds up, doesn't it, as it goes along?
I
Oh,
heard
the end is
rumors.
intense.
I heard rumors they might have been smoking a little pot back then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've got a great idea. Let's sing a song about a bed.
Yeah. Keep on sleeping.
Yeah, man, that's fantastic. That'll blow him away.
Led Zeppelin's never done that.
Where are we? Number 7.
Yeah.
Number 7. Yeah, my number 7, My Brave Face. I just love this song. It's fantastic. I mean, I'm also a Elvis Costello fan. and I actually love pretty much everything.
You can kind of tell which lyrics are Elvis Costello's too in that song.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. But what does it for me in this song is the vocal harmony between the two of them. I love that sort of that descending harmony, that take me to that place, that bit, and it kind of sounds like Beatle Paul. I think it's a very Beatley song. I think, and yeah, I love it. My Brave Face. I think it's one of the best songs that they did together. I think.
Yeah. All right, number 6 for me is Coming Up. When McCartney 2 came out in 1980, I don't know. I kind of liked it and I kind of didn't. It was kind of weird back in 1980, but through the years, I've grown to absolutely love the album. And of course, the video for it is pretty well known. So yeah, number 6. And I actually prefer it over the live version.
Mm.
Yeah.
It depends what version it is. I like seeing Paul do Coming Up live in concert, which he doesn't do anymore, I don't think. But I'm not so wild as wild about the Glasgow version on the single in America
Mhm.
that made #1 as I am some of the other ones he's done live.
Yeah.
And even though I'm backtracking now about Coming Up, totally forgot to mention. I should have mentioned it's the video for Coming Up that got me to like the song. Really, when I
Yeah.
first heard it, I was the freaky version, the studio version. I didn't really love it, and then when
Were you wondering why he was doing Hitler on the keyboards?
no, I didn't. Well, now I know who that is,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't back then. I didn't know who it was. Sparks, right? Was it?
yeah, yeah.
I didn't know who it was at the time, and I didn't realize he was doing. I think Hank Marvin. I think from the Shadows. I think he was doing.
Yeah.
I think I thought it was
Yeah. It was.
Buddy
Yeah.
Holly or something. But anyway, when I saw the video on Saturday Night Live, that's when I really said, "Oh, I love this," because the
Yeah.
video made it for me.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's go to number 6, and this is where I put, and it got pretty high. Let him in. And the reason that Let Him In, probably the only reason, is childhood nostalgia and appreciation and those warm fuzzy memories. I was a 14, and I always say this whenever I talk about silly love songs or Let 'Em In. They remind me of being like 14, going to the beach. Everybody had the transistor radios and the waves and summer and all that summer music. A lot of songs from that time. Turn the Beat Around by Vicky Sue Robinson. I'm trying to remember songs. Love Hangover, Diana Ross. Like that whole era. I mean, anytime I hear Let 'Em In or silly love songs, I get a good feel. Of course, it's easy to knock Let 'Em In because it's so
Mm.
simple and ridiculous in a way, but I love it.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Right, my number 6 is Tug of War, and look, it's interesting. There's so many title tracks as first, in this list as opening tracks, and that's what makes this. I think this what usually the title track is. It supposedly the best track. That's why the album's named after it,
Mhm.
and so it makes this list is hard. But Tug of War, I just love the song, especially when it ramps up a little bit in the middle, like in years to come.
Yeah.
That bit, the strings on it as well. Paul sings it beautifully, and I just think it's a fantastic song. And I didn't always appreciate it as being as good as I think it is now. It's one that's grown in stature, I think, in my mind, probably.
Yep. All right. My number 5, I made a Spotify playlist for all these songs. And so I, listening to them a couple of times. And this song really went up in the rankings. Just his vocals got to me the last time I heard it. I got teary-eyed, I admit. Opening Station and I Don't Know.
Mm.
Yeah, just what a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so good to hear that, and hear people say that because people. It's easy to pick these days on Paul's old man voice or older
Mhm.
man voice, and I just love it that way.
Yeah.
Number five for me is Venus and Mars slash Rock Show. Sometimes I pick Venus and Mars as my favorite album of his, and then sometimes usually I say Ram now, but
Mm.
anyway, I just love it. I love Venus and Mars even more than I love Rock Show. I think, believe it or not, but
Hmm.
together they're really good. Venus and Mars, mellow, that's really cool, laid back opening, and whatever they're using, I got to find out what it is. Is it flutes or
Mm.
something? Whatever that is, sounds like flutes to me. Yeah, I don't know. All musicians, people could,
Yeah.
or I don't know if it's keyboard. I can't think of the word. Uh, Synthesizer,
Synthesizer, yeah.
whatever it is, I like it. And Rock Show is a great rocker, even though it's got some silly lyrics in it at times. But then again, who cares? I love Junior's Farm, and it's full of silly
Yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah.
Number five.
Okay.
My number five, Too Many People from Ram.
Ooh.
Again, a great open. It's a great opener. We all know it's the kind of it's the song. It's the song. Too many people preaching practices. Riled John into writing "How Do You Sleep." So
Good
you
for
know,
him.
it should be credit. It should be credited for that as well. But I think as John said with "How Do You Sleep," people miss the point that it's a great song.
Mhm.
The same could be said for Too Many People. It goes under the radar a little bit, but people talk about the fact that that he was having a pop at John, but I don't think John was I don't think he was getting parking fines.
Oh, yeah, but he doesn't have. He doesn't have the
It's not
nerve.
all about John, is it? It's
No,
not
but
all about
no,
John.
maybe not. But he doesn't have the nerve to come right out and say it. He does it in that subtle way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So Too Many People, I think, is my number five.
You remember Ringo's review of Ram way back in the early
Yeah, that's
70s,
hard
and
to
he didn't like.
believe.
I wonder what he thinks of it now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
Like,
guess
he
so.
said it's a real pity because he's gone a bit nutty or something.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think he liked the single song off it. It said either.
No. Yeah. Oh well. All right. My number four is from probably my second favorite Paul McCartney solo album, Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. Fine Line. And I did used to think that it wasn't a great opening track for the album, but now I guess, I played it so much, I'm used to it that I like it. So it doesn't bother me anymore. But yeah, Fine Line. Love everything about
Hmm. Okay. Okay, number four. The song we were singing from Flaming Pie, one of Paul's greatest albums for me. Um, I love so many songs on that record, and it's a great opener. And I don't know, it just has a good. I want to say like a campfire feel to it. Sit around the campfire and just
it. Yeah.
enjoy these songs. So song we were singing. I always say songs, but
Yeah. Yeah.
the songs we were singing. But
Mm. I think any of my top four could be number one on any particular day, depending on how I feel. When I put this chart together, my number four was Band on the Run, which might shock. I think there's a little bit of fatigue with Band on the Run because he plays it so much. He's never stopped playing it live, but it is a fantastic song just from that that beginning, that guitar passage at the beginning, all the different parts that the song has got. If I ever get out of here, stuck inside this falls, if I ever get out of here, the rain exploded, all those different parts until it gets into that main chorus. An absolutely brilliant song, but I think fatigue plays a little bit of a part in it for me. Placing it as low as number four.
Mhm.
But it could easily be a number one on a different day. It's a fantastic song.
See, this is what I feel about, like overplayed, Stairway to Heaven or whatever. It's not the song's fault that it's overplayed. It's a
No.
great song is a great song, right? Like,
Yeah.
Right. But the
you might get
problem is,
tired
I
of
think,
it.
if I may say, I mean, I don't. That's the thing. I'm always struggling with that myself
Yeah,
because it's like, am I ranking this because what's the best songs,
yeah,
or which
yeah,
one am I personally do I favor right
yeah,
now? You
Yeah.
know, kind of. So it's kind of hard to do.
yeah,
It's kind of what it depends on whether you're doing right. This is this is a ranking of worst to best, or my least favorite to my favorite,
Right.
or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll contradict myself in a few minutes. Don't worry.
Mm.
All right. My number 3 is the very twee London Town.
That's good.
And I remember a friend of mine was a big McCartney fan back in the 70s when London Town came out. So we were, excited. New Paul McCartney album. And we were both so disappointed, because we loved like Junior's Farm, all the Rocky songs. And this was more folky and everything. So it was disappointing. But after, 2 or 3 listens, I grew to love the album, and it's definitely one of my favorites now. So London Town is number 3.
All right. Number 3 is where I place Tug of War, title track. When that album came out, it was such a great, just a great
Yeah.
masterpiece from Paul. I don't know why over the decades it's kind of some of it's kind of like lost some of its luster for me, but that track never has lost the luster. I mean, the strings, George Martin, it's grand. It's like larger than life. Yeah, great song, Tug of War.
Mm. It is. So my number 3, I think this is the first time any two people have agreed on the same song. But my number 3 is also London Town.
Oh my God.
It's again, this is a song that I've never ever got bored of. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the London Town album because I discovered the Beatles in 1976, so the first brand new
Yeah.
studio album that Paul brought out that I bought as it came out rather than retrospectively was London Town. So I've kind of got a soft spot for it. I live in London, it's my town. Silver rain falling down. I love the imagery in the song
And the harmonies too, right?
Yeah, the harmonies.
Yeah.
It's just a great song.
Yeah.
And really underrated as well, I think.
You get some nice guitar at the end of it too. Really.
Yeah. And also, it was also one of the songs that still had the lineup with Jimmy McCulloch and Joe English in it before they bailed.
And one of the greatest videos ever of them walking down that street.
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. My number 2 is Band on the Run. What can you say about it? It's so well known for a reason. And I do understand, even I guess over the years, I'm a little tired of it. But, when I was listening to this playlist, it's a great song. So it's number 2.
Well, I had trouble with number 2 and number 1, as I often do when I do these lists, because I want to reverse them, and on different days they could be reversed. So which one? Whatever number 2 I went with, which could have been my number 1, I went with Too Many People. I love Ram. I think it's a great opener. I love the fact that Paul is trying to sock it to John a little in certain parts of it. In retrospect, I mean, I guess the preaching practices line is pretty obvious, but he does it in a subtle way to the point where the recipient, John, can be accused of being paranoid. He started thinking Dear Boy was about him, but it wasn't.
No.
And certain other things, other shots. And I never blame him or anybody, because if somebody's not going to be forthcoming and they're going to be sneaky and subtle with it, what are you supposed to think? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows which lines are me and which lines aren't me? Come out and say it, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it's just such a great, powerful song. And one thing I got to say, it's funny that Paul is now the one preaching practices. I will continue to eat my meat on Mondays. Thank you. Meat-free Mondays. So don't preach practices and tell me what I want to be. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my number 2 is No More Lonely Nights.
Wow.
Just a fantastic song. And on the album, we've kind of got that bass riff that starts off that, and just a fantastic ballad, really beautiful song. And as you have both said, fantastic lead guitar solo from David Gilmour at the end. Again, this is one of those songs that I've never tired of. So yeah, No More Lonely Nights, my number 2.
Guess what my number 1 is?
I can't remember what you haven't picked.
No.
It's Too Many People.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I love the aggression of, it's, Paul being a little more aggressive, I guess, with the lyrics or whatever. And I bet, besides the lyrics, I bet John actually liked the song itself. That's like a John kind of a rocker. So it's my number 1, and it's from my favorite Paul McCartney album, Ram.
Yeah, Ram is my favorite too. And I also I should have mentioned about that was your first mistake. That part of the song, the way it changes, changes into that key or tune, whatever. All right, so where are we? Oh, number.
And Yoko took your lucky break, wasn't it? That was the original lyric, I think.
Yeah, well, he could say whatever he wants, but the thing is, in defense, you grow up, you move on, you mature, you leave the old gang of boys, and you move on. So you don't stick with the band till like the Stones. But that's just me. But anyway, so it's a good. Anyway, number 1. I'm up to number 1. I'm getting confused here. Number 1. Anybody know what mine is?
I can't remember.
We don't go crazy. We don't spend an hour. The answer is Band on the Run.
Yeah.
And this was a case where I had to say, because I am tired of Band on the Run, guys. I am so fatigued out on Band on the Run. It's a shame when that happens to songs. I'm really, oh, this again, But for this exercise, I guess I got into that trap where I said, well, I'm going to put it over Too Many People. I mean, try to think back as best I could to my first impressions when I first heard it. And I was blown away by it for all the reasons that's been stated already, and the different sound, the suite of going from if I ever get out of here, that whole part, then getting into the actual Band on the Run. There's different moods, up, down, lifts you, takes you all different places. It's such a classic.
Yeah, and I think sonically, it always it sounds really good, doesn't it? It's got great sound to it as well. Right, so my number 1, which comes from my favorite album, Venus and Mars Rock Show. I do actually think that the live version of Wings Over America is better than the version that's on the album, but that's by the by. But yeah, I love that introduction. The slow song, Venus and Mars. Just really, really nice acoustic guitar and synthesizer. Good friend of mine showed me.
Was I right? Synthesizer, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then boom, it goes into Rock Show, and it kind of just explodes, and you can tell that this song has been written, for before a live performance. I had no idea what the concert Jabot was when I first heard it, but apparently it's a rock venue in Holland. But yeah, just great little bits about going to gigs. The lights go down, they're back in town, and that sort of
and
stuff.
Put your wig on before you go.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
Place it on straight.
Yeah, I
Don't be
love.
late.
Yeah, no, I love that bit at the end because that you don't get on the live album. The piano bit
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a
That
nice
bit.
thing.
Yeah. So yeah, Venus and Mars Rock Show. I think is the best opener in my
And
opinion. In
and
my
that
opinion.
and the album Venus and Mars, he couldn't have done better for a follow-up to Band on the Run.
No.
Right? I don't think like a song like what's that acoustic number? It's like the third song in.
Loving Song.
That is such a gorgeous song.
It
Like,
is a
That
fantastic
song I
song.
heard, I think it uses the. I think I remember hearing it uses the bass that was played on Elvis's Heartbreak Hotel.
oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. We did it.
Did it?
Yeah, and it took a lot shorter than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It
had up to
wasn't
2
3
hours.
hours long.
You know, yeah, that worked out good.
Yeah, that was good. So any final words, Tony or Joe?
No, just that it was really it was really quite difficult to do.
Yeah.
There's so,
Well,
there's
that's
so
because
many.
Paul McCartney is the greatest solo artist of them all, along with
He-
John Lennon.
No, it's
It
Paul.
is.
It's all about Paul. No,
It's all about Paul.
even I say Paul's the greatest songwriter of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that although because he's had more time to become
There's a reason why,
the
of
greatest
course, yeah.
songwriter of all time
Yeah.
than John has. We don't know what we've missed from John. But yeah, I mean that I love pretty much all of these songs. And you went in quite early, Larry, when you said all these are all 10 out of 10, and that's kind of how I feel as well. There, lots of really great opening songs.
Yeah, and that's why when listening to the playlist and you go from an older song to like the song from Egypt Station, it just hits you, right? Like what he's done with his life and his albums and everything. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to Mean Mr. Mayo and Beatley Tones Beatles channel. Say that 3 times fast. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
folks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.